This king had a handsome son and a beautiful daughter. When they grew up, the king urged them to find someone to marry. However, both the prince and the princess said they didn't want to get married yet. They felt that everyone in the kingdom was trash and they couldn't find anyone they liked. Hearing this, the king became very angry. He immediately ordered them to leave the palace. So the prince and princess set off together to explore the beautiful world. However, they didn't even make it out of the village before they were exhausted. They lay down under a big tree to rest. The princess soon fell asleep and had a strange dream. She told her brother that she dreamed that if they placed the leaves from the tree on a sick person's head, they would quickly recover, and the water from the stream would bring the dead back to life. The prince decided to give it a try. They collected a sack full of leaves and a water bottle full of stream water and continued on their journey. Before long, they arrived in another kingdom. Everyone there was wearing black mourning clothes. The prince learned from an old lady that the king's son had a terminal illness and didn't have long to live. So the siblings disguised themselves as doctors to meet the king. The king was very pleased and immediately invited them in. The princess walked up to the dying prince and placed the leaves on his forehead. The prince immediately opened his eyes. They gazed at each other, exchanging meaningful looks. Then the prince gave him a few sips of the stream water. The sick prince instantly looked rejuvenated. He then embraced the princess and said he wanted to marry her. The princess, too, had fallen in love and decided to stay. Her brother gave her his blessing and set off alone to find his own partner. Soon, the prince arrived at another kingdom. The king there was announcing that whoever could guess what the princess's birthmark looked like would win her hand in marriage and inherit the throne. Nobles from all over came to try their luck, but no one succeeded. The prince paced back and forth, thinking about the answer. An ironworker, seeing his royal appearance, guessed he was a prince and offered to help. The ironworker suggested that the prince have a hollow golden calf made. The prince could hide inside the calf, and the ironworker would sell it to the princess. That night, the prince could sneak out and see what the princess's birthmark looked like. They agreed on the plan and it was set in motion. The next day, the princess loved the shiny golden calf and asked her father to buy it for her. That night, after the princess fell asleep, the prince crawled out from the side of the calf. He quietly snuck to her bed and easily saw the birthmark. The prince couldn't help but laugh out loud in excitement. He quickly woke the princess, who screamed when she saw a stranger. But soon, she was captivated by the prince, and they became inseparable. The prince then asked the princess to help him get rid of the golden calf. The next morning, the princess told her father she had accidentally broken the calf's ear and asked him to send it for repairs. After the calf was sent away, the prince emerged from inside. He went to the palace to meet the king and claimed that he had figured out the princess's birthmark. To be sure, the prince pretended to think for 3 full days. Finally, he told the king that the birthmark consisted of the sun, moon, and stars. The king, overjoyed at the correct answer, immediately gave the prince his daughter in the kingdom. The prince then invited his sister and parents to the kingdom. They all celebrated with a long-lasting, joyful wedding.